6:25. A very good morning to you. If you're just joining us, let's bring you this story. The Commission for Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration is forecasting an increase in retrenchments. It says this is due to the fourth industrial revolution. To discuss this, we're joined by Labour lawyer Ludwig Fram-Up. Mr. Fram-Up, thank you very much for your time. Which sectors, in your mind, are mostly affected by this 4IR?
Well, the fourth industrial revolution is probably going to affect almost every sector because in its nature it is a revolution. But the two sectors that we see primarily influenced in South Africa at the moment are the mining and the construction industry, where you have a lot of labour-intensive work that can possibly be replaced by machines or other ways of working.
Mitigating factors to try and ensure that these workers at least remain in their jobs. What should companies be doing?
Well, your challenge is working more effectively and working more efficiently and, for example, in the mining industry, working more safely. We know that health and safety is a great risk, and certain machines are able to do more dangerous work without placing humans' lives at risk. The challenge with the fourth industrial revolution is really upskilling people, because it doesn't mean that there will not be jobs. It just means that there will be different jobs. So you no longer do the drilling or the mining, you now operate the machine that does that. So there is a process of having to reskill people.
Because I was just about to ask you a question. When you say we upskill a person, how do you upskill a rock drill operator who works in the mine?
Incredibly difficult and partly hamstrung by our history in terms of education and the negative selection, as it were, of people who are forced into those positions. So it is about greater education and being able to then teach them to operate these new machinery. But this comes at an additional cost.
The construction industry is another sector that you're saying is mostly affected here. Again, a similar question. How do you upskill a bricklayer?
That is incredibly difficult. Yeah, our construction industry is also to work out what is the cause of the challenges there. I'm not sure that the construction industry is necessarily immediately challenged by the fourth industrial revolution. There are other economic pressures that come onto the construction industry that are affecting it. Because you're right, a bricklayer can't really be replaced by a machine that can lay a brick more accurately and more quickly.
Then there is the element that is our economy. It's not doing well. Our president is doing his best to try and attract investment. He was in London just this week. How is that also adding to this misery of more jobs that are going to be lost that's being forecast?
Well, it adds incredible pressure because shareholders are looking for returns, employers are looking ways to manage their businesses more effectively, more efficiently. When the pie is only so big, you've got to look at ways as to how much of that are you able to take in terms of how much share of the market are you able to take. There's a lack of investment. There is also a lack of long-term goals or long-term expansion or future ideas. And all of that places an incredible pressure on companies that are looking for immediate returns and immediate profits.
Is there a way of forecasting, Ludwig, just how many jobs are actually going to be lost to the fourth industrial revolution's introduction?
It's incredibly difficult because, as with all revolutions, it's a process, and sometimes we're slightly behind the curve in terms of what is happening elsewhere in the world, and you don't know what jobs are going to come about in the future. Take the taxi industry and the rideshare industry as examples of, they often quoted as examples of the fourth industrial revolution. Well, so we say there are a whole lot of taxi drivers who are losing their positions. Well, how many new people in the form of Uber drivers are obtaining positions? And how do you measure those two? So it's not only doom and gloom. There are also opportunities that arise. And it's very difficult to measure what is going to be lost and what is going to be gained, and how quickly does the gain come in relation to the loss. So it's an incredibly difficult assessment to make, but we do know that the President has a commission that is looking into this. They're due to deliver a report in March 2020 on the impact of the fourth industrial revolution and really the growth prospects that may arise out of it. And that commission's work is not unoptimistic in its outlook.
a terrible situation. Government, on the one hand, is urging companies to please not retrench workers, but it's difficult to see how companies are going to avoid this. Ludwig from UP, thank you very much for your time. He is a labour lawyer joining us this morning here on The First Take. Let's